What's what's up, people? How you guys doing, man? It's Ronald Leaks back with another video. Happy 4-year anniversary to be making my YouTube video. I've been on YouTube for 4 years now, and yes, I am been excited to be making videos since February of 2010. And it's been a hassle between the 2009 phase of me making YouTube videos, but luckily I started my YouTube video making ever since. So anyway, to get started with this video. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is this Sunday, and I have to say I want to talk about the matches and the storyline build-up going into this match. So the first match we have is Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Curtis Axel and Ryback. Honestly, hopefully it's not a chance to plant tension between Cody Rhodes and Goldust, because I remember we talked about before that Goldust did talk about how he's not going to wrestle his brother at WrestleMania in an article that I did found out and look up. So hopefully Curtis Axel and Ryback didn't just get a win just to plant seeds between Cody Rhodes and Goldust, because they did that for the past two tag teams, which is the Primetime Players and Tons of Fucks, which I'm going to get into later on. So that's what I got to say to that. So I gotta say, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, I feel like they do need a win, but Ryback and Curtis Axel, if they win, I think it's about time for them to get some momentum. But Cody Rhodes and Goldust, they do need a win. They're such a great tag team, but the problem is, not many people are into the kickoff, so the pre-show, which is kind of unfortunate. So Rhodes and Goldust, I think they can still save the kickoff, so that's what I gotta say. That if the tag team championship was at the kickoff, that would brought some live into the kickoff, so that's what I gotta say to that. First match listed: Randy Orton versus John Cena versus Sheamus versus Danny Bryan versus Antonio Cesaro, which is now Cesaro, and Christian versus Christian as well. So I have to say this: Randy Orton's picking up the win. He's gonna lose to everybody except Christian, and I have to say that it's completely unfortunate, but I think the build-up is going to be completely anticlimactic, and I gotta say, Randy Orton does need a win, but I do want either Daniel Bryan or Sheamus to pull off the surprising win, but I have to say, Randy Orton's going to win. They're having this feud with Orton and Batista leading into it, and it's completely anticlimactic. And Brock Lesnar has been nowhere in sight the past few Raws, which was a complete surprise, but somewhere around he needs to, find some way to get into WrestleMania. That's what I gotta say to that, but hopefully it becomes a triple threat match. That's what I gotta say to that, but yeah, that's what I gotta say. So Randy Orton, I have to say, he's winning hands down. Even though the build-up for him as champion has been completely weak, I have to say to that he loses matches and he's really not getting any heat that he had in the Royal Rumble, as that match in the Royal Rumble was complete buzz because it had no storytelling, no momentum build whatsoever, and that's what kind of made the whole match kind of flopped a bit. If the story build was different, it would have been a great match, but unfortunately they could have did something completely different. But moving on, same thing with the Elimination Chamber. If they did the story more different, where Randy Orton was at 500 at or 3-2 or something, and he was on a streak or something, it's yeah, I have to say, he needs to win. He should have beat John Cena, lost to Cesaro, and that could have built a main event climax for him versus Sheamus, but unfortunately that's very disappointing that he lost to everybody except Christian. So, excuse me, that's what I gotta say to that, quite frankly, which is kind of unfortunate. So, Randy Orton still with the win. Next match we have is the Wyatt family versus the Shield. Wyatt family members Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Aaron Rowan will go against the Shield members Dean Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. This is kind of hard to tell, but I think the Shield is going to win. I wish they continue being more at odds, and then somehow they overcome the odds of their feud, and then somehow they completely just overcome the odds of the Wyatt family. But even if the Wyatt family do win and the Shield start continuing building tension and they start splitting up, I have to say, the Shield, they need to split up after WrestleMania. After it's a whole new year and things are completely refreshed, and on top of that, they can have Roman Reigns win Intercontinental Champion and have him and Dean Ambrose feud. they unify the titles, and then they can have a legit like split up, and then Seth Rollins gets in for the triple threat match. That would just tear the house down. So I'm excited for this little family feud 6-man tag team match. So I feel like as if this could be a chance for Elimination Chamber to raise the reins, but I felt this kind of rushed. I felt like it should have been a WrestleMania match. WrestleMania would have been awesome because the Shield did win their match at WrestleMania and the Wyatt family did. But well, if the Wyatt family win their match at WrestleMania, this is a chance for another stable to build up from there, and that's what I gotta really say to that. So the Shield's kind of splitting up. I'm not too nervous about that. Before I was really nervous about what's gonna happen after the split up, with me thinking about what may happen. I'm actually nervous about it because whatever I'm thinking may not actually happen. So that's what I gotta say to that, because I feel like they're gonna do something completely kind of cliche split up, like they hate each other, they feel like they're in their way, but have them break up momentum, have them get wins, have Roman Reigns beat the Wyatt family, but there's still tension with each other. Dean Ambrose continues to get jealous of Roman Reigns. Somehow he accidentally costs him the match, but turned out he intentionally did, and then the tension builds from there. Seth Rollins kind of gets in there, triple threat kind of, and that's what I gotta say. But I don't think that would really work though. But I think Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose may both attack Roman Reigns, which I should have thought of. So that's what I gotta say to that. So the tag team for the tag team titles, there is the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos. New Age Outlaw members Road Dogg and Billy Gunn versus Uso members Jimmy and Jay Uso. So what I gotta say to that is I'm thinking the New Age Outlaws have to pull an upset win because the Usos have been looking completely strong, and if the Usos do beat them, the New Age Outlaws are gonna completely fall flat. I felt like as if they kind of like, I can't see them as regular every week wrestlers anymore. It's just, they try that week after week, but then it's like, they tried that before during the Raw 1000 span when it was the Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar feud, but unfortunately that fell flat. It's like after old school Raw, they always come out like their regular rosters. I mean, they're making appearances as a regular roster, but I don't know. They're great wrestlers still, surprisingly. Road Dogg's in his 40s, Billy Gunn's nearly in his 50s. But I don't know. It's hard for me to like really see them continue to get pushed further and further. So hopefully, after WrestleMania, hopefully they leave WWE on a temporary leave of absence and then somehow come back again. But I see them keep coming back. And for the Usos, Usos need to start continuing the momentum. They completely rose on the card as strong tag teams, and quite frankly, I just felt that as if. Yeah, I felt as if with the Usos, they have completely rose from jobbers or just athletes just on the card and nobody cares about to them rising to big popularity. So that's what I got to say to that. So, so quite frankly, I felt like as if, the Usos are on their run. So I feel like, they have a chance to win this one. So, that's what I got to say to that. So the Usos do need the tag team champion win, but it would be a short of a reign for the Outlaws. But if they don't, Usos win at WrestleMania. They're going to win at WrestleMania. New Age Outlaws upset win, like I said before. Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. I have to say to this match, Darren Young, I felt like as if, what is it? Yeah, Darren Young, I think, the feud has been okay. The split up, I didn't really like the split up, but I feel like they're trying to rise them as single competitors with Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. They feel like they weren't going nowhere with the primetime players, but it's kind of weird, like, when they turn face, it's like when they turn face, both members are primetime players, it's like when a tag team turns face, that's when they start to split up instead of when they're heels, which I didn't really like that. So it's kind of like, because now they're single competitors, I hope the feud is still good. I hope this feud is still good, because they tried that with Shad Gaspard, JTG, when they had their feud. It was very short-lived. After Crime Time split up, Shad Gaspard JTB had a strap match, so they did put some build into this Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and I thought that pay-per-view was really good. Because I feel like as if they put a lot of effort into putting matches, different types of various matches there. Sometimes I feel like they lost their edge, and then with JTG and Shad Gaspard, they had a great strap match, so even though Darren Young Titus O'Neil is not an Eddie specialty match, I feel like they could put on some great match though. But Titus O'Neil, he can't be a cowardly heel. Mark Henry was the only guy who's not a cowardly heel. And I can I can understand one of the guys is like don't like Mark Henry turning face, but he still maintains great momentum as a face and heel, and that's what I still like about him. If he could still be a monster, he could still be phenomenal. That's what I gotta say to that, quite frankly. So, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, I feel like Titus O'Neil, I think, may pull the win. It's kind of hard for me to tell, but Titus O'Neil does need a win, but I don't know. The momentum swing for Titus and Young has been a little bit on the slide, so that's what I gotta say to that. Two matches I forgot to mention. Batista versus Alberto Del Rio. I have to say, Alberto Del Rio, I think, is going to pull a surprising win, but Batista may beat him down regardless. That's what I'm thinking they may go. Alberto Del Rio finally gets a win. I just felt like Alberto Del Rio should have eliminated Batista in the Royal Rumble to have a different type of development feud, but unfortunately that didn't happen, which I thought that would have been great if that indeed did happen, and then he could still have something to do. But because they want to do this former Evolution storyline, especially with Triple H in the mix, I feel like, you know, the match is not going to do any favors for Del Rio, but unfortunately it's going to be more about Batista looking strong, whether he wins or lose. But I have to say, Alberto Del Rio, as much as people are saying Batista's going to win, Alberto Del Rio is going to pull off a surprising win and try and get some tad bit of retribution out of the lots of attempts he's going to make. So, out of the tons of revenge he's trying to attempt. So that's what I gotta say to that. All retribution. Big E versus Jack Swagger, I forgot to mention that. The build-up, I felt, is too rushed. They should have did the No 1 Contender spot like after the Royal Rumble, because Big E has been getting squashed week after week by the Shield, which is a strong stable, but nonetheless he's still getting squashed, which I don't really like at all. And the fact that he's not looking like a complete relevant Intercontinental Champion, it's hard for me to believe that he is. They kind of been building it up, even though it's been very rushed and too short, so we haven't had a chance to see much story into it. We're not saying to pull like a 10-minute promo, but put some story into it, because you have two former amateur wrestlers in college, NCAA, Division I, with Big E and Swagger, and you have a chance to put on even great story build-up. That way, when they put on a good match, because I feel like they could, people are going to start caring. So that's what I got to say to that. So I felt like as if the Elimination Chamber, I think it's going to be a fairly good pay-per-view. I'm not going to say it's going to be excellent or spectacular, but it's going to be fairly good. And, you know, that's what I got to say to that. So, sorry my video went on too long, but, you know, I think, you know, I'll be tuning into the Elimination Chamber Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. And WWE Network is coming up next Monday. So, yeah, so that's just my video, and hopefully you guys enjoy it, and have a nice day. Peace out for my 4-year anniversary.